Did you know that 1 in 4 adults in the US has some form of liver disease? Your liver is the largest internal organ in your body, and it is responsible for over 500 different tasks, such as filtering toxins from your blood, producing bile to digest fats, storing vitamins and minerals, and regulating hormones. However, your liver can get damaged by many things in your everyday life, such as alcohol, drugs, viruses, obesity, diabetes, and inflammation. When your liver is damaged, it can lead to serious complications, such as cirrhosis, liver cancer, liver failure, and even death. But what if I told you that some of the foods you're eating every day may be silently worsening your liver health and increasing your risk of liver disease? Yes, you heard that right. Some of the foods that you may think are harmless or even healthy are actually harming your liver and putting your life in danger. In this video, we will reveal the worst 10 foods that are destroying your liver and why you should avoid them at all costs. We will also give you some tips on how to improve your liver health and prevent liver damage. So without further ado, let's get started. Number 1. Sugar. Sugar is made up of 2 types of molecules, glucose and fructose. Glucose is used by every cell in your body for energy, but fructose can only be processed by your liver. When you consume a lot of fructose, your liver has to work hard to convert it into fat, which can lead to fatty liver disease. Fatty liver disease is a condition where too much fat is stored in your liver cells, which can cause inflammation, scarring, and even cancer. In a new study published in JAMA, researchers found that women who drank 1 or more sugar-sweetened beverages daily had an 85% higher risk of liver cancer and a 68% higher risk of dying from chronic liver disease compared to those who drank less than 3 sugar-sweetened beverages per month. Another study found that moderate consumption of fructose and sucrose can dramatically increase fat production in the liver, even more than glucose. The researchers also found that these sugar-induced changes to fat metabolism can last for a long time, even after stopping sugar intake. That means that the damage done by sugar can persist for a while, even if you try to cut back. So as much as possible, try to reduce your intake of sugar-sweetened beverages and other foods that contain added sugars, such as candy, cookies, cakes, and ice cream. Number 2. Red meat. Do you love a juicy steak or a delicious burger? If you do, you might want to think twice before indulging in too much red meat. Red meat is high in saturated fat, cholesterol, and iron, which can all overload your liver and cause it to work harder than normal to process them. This can lead to inflammation, scarring, and fatty liver disease, which are all signs of liver damage. In fact, in a recent study on Chinese people, researchers found that those who ate more than 71 grams of red meat per day had a 59% to 70% higher risk of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease than those who ate less than 14 grams per day. That's a huge difference, don't you think? So, to avoid all this, try to eat less red meat and more white meat, such as chicken and fish. White meat is lower in fat, cholesterol, and iron, and has no association with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Number 3. White bread. I know it's hard to resist a soft and fluffy slice of bread, especially when it's toasted and spread with butter or jam. But unfortunately, white bread can be very bad for your liver. First of all, white bread is made from refined flour, which means it has been stripped of most of its fiber, antioxidants, and nutrients. Without enough fiber, your liver has to work harder to cleanse your blood and keep you healthy. Secondly, white bread is high in simple carbohydrates, which can spike your blood sugar levels and cause insulin resistance. Insulin is a hormone that helps your cells use glucose for energy. When your cells become resistant to insulin, they can't use the glucose in your blood for energy, so your liver has to produce more glucose to keep up with their demand. This can lead to fatty liver disease. So how can you protect your liver from white bread? Well, one way is to switch to whole grain bread, which has more fiber, nutrients, and complex carbohydrates. Whole grain bread can help lower your blood sugar, cholesterol, and blood pressure and reduce your risk of fatty liver disease and cirrhosis. So the next time you're shopping for bread, look for the label that says 100% whole wheat or whole grain. Before we continue, if you have been enjoying the video so far, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss more videos like this. Number 4. Soda. Soda is not only bad for your teeth and waistline, but also for your liver. That's because soda is loaded with sugar, especially high fructose corn syrup, which is a type of sweetener that is made from corn. As we saw earlier, too much fructose can overload your liver and cause it to produce more fat. This can lead to fatty liver disease, which can damage your liver cells. But what about diet soda? You might think that diet soda is a healthier alternative to regular soda, since it has zero sugar and 0 calories. However, diet soda is not as harmless as it seems. According to studies, diet soda contains artificial sweeteners such as aspartame, which can increase your appetite and cravings for sugary foods. This can lead to weight gain and obesity, which are risk factors for fatty liver disease. One study was conducted by researchers in China who analyzed data from more than 2,300 participants. They found that those who reported always drinking diet soda were more likely to have fatty liver disease than those who never drank it. They also found that drinking diet soda can increase your BMI, which in turn may increase your risk of fatty liver disease. The best thing to do here for your liver health is to limit or avoid soda altogether, both regular and diet. Instead, choose healthier beverages such as water, unsweetened tea, or low-fat milk. Number 5. Fried foods. Fried foods are like that one friend who's fun at parties but not so great for your health. Fried foods are often loaded with unhealthy fats, especially saturated and trans fats, which can increase liver fat, especially in people with obesity or diabetes. According to a recent study, people with obesity or diabetes who consume 20% or more of their daily calories from fast food have severely elevated levels of fat in their liver compared to those who consume less or no fast food. And even the general population has moderate increases of liver fat when 1/5 or more of their diet is fast food. Other than that, fried foods are also high in salt, which can cause fluid retention and swelling in the liver. This can make it harder for the liver to function properly and increase the risk of complications. In fact, another study found that high salt foods can affect the liver even in healthy people. So what can you do to protect your liver? Well, the obvious answer is to eat less or avoid them altogether. But if you can't resist the occasional indulgence, well then instead of deep frying, why not try baking or air frying? You'll get that crunch without the extra oil. You also need to limit your portion size and frequency of fried food consumption. Don't make it a daily habit, but a rare treat. Number 6. Too much salt. Salt is an essential mineral that helps regulate fluid balance, blood pressure, and nerve impulses in our body, but too much of it can be very harmful for your liver. That's because when we consume too much salt, it can lead to water retention, which increases the pressure in the blood vessels of the liver and causes fluid to leak out into the surrounding tissues. This can result in swelling, inflammation, and scarring of the liver, which can impair its function and lead to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So how much salt is too much? Well, the American Heart Association recommends no more than 2,300 milligrams of sodium per day, which is about a teaspoon or 5 grams of salt. However, most people consume more than that, especially from processed foods, sauces, snacks, and restaurant meals. In fact, the study conducted in Japan found that people who consumed more than 10 grams of salt per day had a 37% higher risk of developing liver cancer than those who consumed less than 5 grams. So always read nutrition labels and choose low sodium or sodium-free products. Also, use herbs, spices, lemon juice, vinegar, or other seasonings instead of salt to add flavor to your food. And finally, when eating out, ask for your food to be prepared with less or no salt and avoid sauces, dressings, and condiments that are high in sodium. And don't forget to drink plenty of water to help flush out excess salt from your body. By following these simple steps, you can lower your salt intake and keep your liver healthy and happy. Number 7. Processed meats. Do you love bacon, ham, salami, hot dogs, and other cured meats? Well, I have some bad news for you. These processed meats are not only high in salt, but also contain harmful chemicals called nitrites and nitrates, which are added to preserve the color and flavor of the meat. When you eat processed meats, these chemicals react with other compounds in your body and form nitrosamines, which are known carcinogens that can damage your liver cells and cause cancer. Yes, you heard that right. Eating processed meats can literally give you liver cancer. And that's not all. Studies have also shown that eating processed meats can increase your risk of fatty liver disease, insulin resistance, diabetes, and obesity, which are all factors that can harm your liver function. So how much processed meat is too much? Well, according to the World Health Organization, there is no safe level of consumption for processed meats. They recommend avoiding them as much as possible and choosing fresh, lean, and organic meats instead. Trust me, your liver will thank you for it. Number 8. Trans fat. Trans fats are the worst type of fat for your health, and especially for your liver. Trans fats are a man-made fat that is created by adding hydrogen to liquid vegetable oils. It is often used in processed foods, such as pastries, cakes, cookies, crackers, margarines, and fast food, because it makes them last longer and taste better. But what does trans fat do to your liver? Well, nothing good, I can tell you that. Trans fat increases the amount of bad LDL cholesterol in your blood, which can clog your arteries and cause heart disease. But it also lowers the amount of good HDL cholesterol, which helps your liver get rid of toxins and fats from your body. This means that trans fat can make your liver work harder and accumulate more fat, leading to fatty liver disease and inflammation. Studies have shown that eating trans fat can increase your risk of liver fibrosis, which is a condition where scar tissue forms in your liver and impairs its function. Trans fat can also increase your risk of liver cancer, which is one of the most deadly types of cancer. So how much trans fat is too much? Well, according to the American Heart Association, you should limit your intake of trans fat to less than 2 grams per day. But ideally, you should avoid it completely since there is no safe level of consumption for trans fat. You can check the nutrition labels of the foods you buy and look for trans fat or partially hydrogenated oil in the ingredients list. If you see any of these, put them back on the shelf and choose healthier alternatives. Number 9. Alcohol. This one might not be a surprise, but alcohol is one of the worst offenders when it comes to liver damage. Alcohol is a toxin that your liver has to break down and eliminate from your body. But when you drink too much or too often, your liver gets overwhelmed and can't keep up with the demand. This leads to inflammation, scarring, and eventually cirrhosis, which is a condition where your liver tissue is replaced by scar tissue and can't function properly. Other than that, alcohol also increases your risk of liver cancer, fatty liver disease, and hepatitis. The best way to protect your liver from alcohol is to limit your intake or avoid it altogether. According to the American Liver Foundation, women should not drink more than 1 drink per day and men should not drink more than 2 drinks per day. 1 drink is equivalent to 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or 1.5 ounces of liquor. Number 10. Canned foods. Canned foods are convenient and cheap, but they are actually very bad for your liver. One reason why canned foods are bad for the liver is that the lining of many cans also contains bisphenol A, which is a compound that can contribute to liver problems when consumed in excess. BPA is an endocrine disruptor that can interfere with the hormones that regulate metabolism, inflammation, and immunity. Studies have shown that BPA exposure can increase the risk of fatty liver disease, liver fibrosis, and liver cancer. Another reason why canned foods are bad for the liver is that they often contain high levels of added preservatives and chemicals. These substances can accumulate in the liver and cause inflammation, oxidative stress, and fat buildup. Some of the common preservatives and chemicals found in canned foods are sodium nitrite, sodium benzoate, BHA, BHT, and MSG. So try to limit your intake of canned foods and opt for fresh or frozen foods instead. You can also look for cans that are labeled as BPA-free or use glass jars or containers. So these were the worst 10 foods that can damage your liver and put you at risk of serious health problems. So make sure you avoid these foods as much as possible and eat a balanced diet that includes plenty of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, healthy fats, and water. Remember, you only have 1 liver, so treat it well, and it will treat you well too. Now we want to hear from you. Do you eat some of these foods regularly? Do you actually have liver problems? Share with us your experiences and opinions in the comments below. We love to hear them. Thanks for watching.